Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and today I'm going to be showing you all about the John Deere home maintenance kits. Home maintenance kits are one of John Deere's top selling parts all around the world, and the reason being is that there is hundreds of current and non-current John Deere mower models that all require that yearly service. So to make things easier for you, John Deere's packaged together these parts in one easy, convenient kit to make sure you have everything you need when servicing these mowers. So today in this video, I'm going to unbox one of these kits, show you exactly what's inside, and then also show you exactly how to remove and reinstall each individual piece. So after watching this video, guys, if you've decided a home maintenance kit is something you need, you can order one from me today. All you have to do is shoot me an email to my address below, brent@west-equip.com. Make sure to include your model and serial number in the email so I can get the right kit headed your way. And guys, just for watching this video, I'm also going to hook you up with free shipping on that order. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to throw in a free Western Equipment hat with that order. So let's go check out these kits. Okay guys, so here's the box. Here's an example of what this home maintenance kit is going to look like. Of course, it says home maintenance kit here on top. It's got the nice picture, kind of gives you an idea of what's going to be inside when you open it. It also lists here on the side what models that this kit should be for. Now keep in mind, not every single model that this kit is for is going to be listed on the side here, but this should give you a pretty good idea to get you close. But this is why it's very important to have that model and serial number so we can make sure we can get the exact right kit for you. So let's open this up and check it out. So like I said, everything inside here, we're going to have to be able to service this mower. Once we open this up, first thing is right on top, we are going to have our John Deere oil filter. Next thing that you're going to see is you're going to have 2 quarts of oil. As you can see here, this is John Deere Turf Guard 10W30. 10W30 is going to be the standard oil that we use in almost every single mower. Next thing here is we are going to have our air filter. And with most of these, you're going to have a pre-filter as well, the foam cover that's going to go on the outside of that filter. Next thing here that we have is going to be our 2 spark plugs. We do have those right there. And last but not least, we've also got our fuel filter here. So now guys, this is a really good example of what all is going to come in this kit. This kit specifically is going to be for this John Deere X324, but keep in mind, depending on your model of mower, depending on which engine it's got in it, whether it be a Kawasaki, Briggs & Stratton, or a Kohler, these filters may look a little different. Generally, you're going to have all the things that you see here, but there are some models that are going to be a single valve engine, so you're not going to have 2 spark plugs. You may just have the one. Depending on the size of the motor or what brand it is, your air filter may look a little different. The oil filter may be a different size. If you're in the John Deere E-Series, they have a new system as of 2018 that is the 30-second quick change oil system. So instead of having the 2 quarts of oil, you'll have that preloaded canister filter that we'll show in another video here later on. So guys, from here, we're going to start slapping this stuff on. We're going to start here with the oil change first, but before we do that, I'm going to show you a few of the things that you may need to make this job easier on yourself. For one, we got our drain pan here. We've also got a few rags here. This is going to be good for that, when you're taking off your oil filter, you may have a little bit of spillage there. Same thing when you're taking off your fuel filter. You are going to have to take that off. You are going to spill a little bit of fuel, so it's good maybe to have that underneath to catch some of that fuel. Of course, it will evaporate, but just for cleanliness sake, you may have those. Next, we've got our filter wrench here. This is a cap style filter wrench. We've also got the nylon style filter wrench. This is going to hook up to like a 1/2-inch drive socket wrench there. And here you can have any size of socket wrench here, as long as you've got a 19mm socket to go on the end. Now you should be able to take these off by hand, but we all know as time goes on, things get tight, and that may not be the case, so you may need this filter wrench to help you out there. Next thing we've got here is we do have a pair of pliers. That'll help with those clamps on the fuel filter there. And then we've also got a spark plug socket here. It's a 13/16 or 21mm. It's a deep socket, and it's also got some rubber there on the inside to help grab onto that spark plug and to help insulate inside there. So from here, guys, I'm going to start on this oil change. We're going to try to give you a good idea real time of how long this takes, but we're going to speed it up some for convenience sake for you. So bear with me here and we'll get started. First thing we're going to do here is, as you can see here on the side, we've got a real easy twist off opening here for your drain plug. So lower your deck all the way to the ground just to give yourself plenty of room. Get your drain pan up here close, and the next thing we're going to do is just ought to be able to twist by hand very easily there. Twist this on off, and your oil should start coming out there. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to reach up top here and open up your dipstick, and that allows flow there. And as you can see, when I pulled that out, that oil really started flowing out of the top. Now from here, after this drains out, guys, we're going to speed it up here, let this oil drain out. After it drains out, then we'll start taking off the filter. So while we're waiting on this, guys, and you can see here with this plug, now like I said, this is a hand twist, and you saw how easy it was for me to take this off. As you can see here, this was on a used mower, but this does have a little square hole there. If that gets to where that's too tight, they put that square there so you can't stick something in to break that loose. But not all mowers, you know, depending on model and depending on year, are going to have that hand twist type. So you may just keep in mind, really check out what you've got on your mower, as you might need a tool there to help you relieve that drain plug. So as you can see, guys, here we've really slowed down. We're almost to the end of our drain interval here. One thing I failed to mention at the beginning, and one thing you didn't see is at the start of the video, is that we had driven this mower around and gotten it moved into position here where we wanted to shoot the video. And what that did is that caused that oil to warm up and made it a lot smoother and a lot faster when draining. So that's one thing. Whenever you're getting ready to change this oil, make sure, you know, go drive your mower around for a little bit, not too long. You don't want it too hot, but you do want it warm. That way it flows easier out of the crankcase. So guys, from here, as we can see, it's just barely pouring out. So we'll go ahead and put our drain plug back on, and then that way we can go into removing the filter. One thing you might also want when doing this is some latex gloves, you know, just to keep that oil off your hands. I don't have any today on me, but that is also a good idea to have those. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to try to position our drain pan here, you know, to where we can keep it up and kind of keep it, you know, from spilling out here. We don't want to make too much of a mess, but we do have to take off this filter. One good practice here, you can use part of your box, whether it be one of the sides here, or if you have this middle divider, you can take it and kind of tear it and make yourself a little paper funnel here to go around the bottom of that oil filter. And what that's going to do is that's just going to keep you from making a mess when you take that filter off. What you can do is, and you may have to cut it down some more here, you know, tear this down to where you can get this up in and under that oil filter for when you're taking it off. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to just loosen it by hand and see how that goes. And then if I can't get it by hand, it looks like it's going to be pretty tight here, we'll go and we'll try the filter wrench. It's on there pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and take my cap style filter wrench here, and we're going to pop it on. Now it's a little bit tough here with this cowling, but it can pull back pretty easily. I'm going to pop it on. Make sure we've got our ratchet going the right way here. Put this on here. And pretty easily, guys, we broke that loose. So not much to that. From here, you ought to be able to just spin it off by hand. Go ahead and take our filter wrench off here. And of course, just like anything else, once we start taking this filter off, we're going to have that little bit of spillage, and that is where our cardboard came in really handy. It does have quite a long neck on it, so once you get that pulled out here, you can just set it down in your drain pan there. Now this little tip and trick right here is really nice, you know, being able to get that out and extend it over into your drip pan there. Once you get that done, I'm gonna get that mess cleaned up there. Just pull this off and discard it. Now, if you don't have, you know, if you didn't use your box or you've already thrown it away, you can see here that a lot of these models do have this little bit here to help with some of that spillage. And if you can't get it all, there is a drip hole there, so it's not going to just stick here on your frame. You know, you will be able to get that off of there. So next thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to spin our new filter on. One thing very important here, guys, is you've got to make sure when taking off that filter that your old gasket came off, and this one did, as you can see here. And the next thing you want to do is make sure and lubricate your next gasket here on the filter. So just take a little bit of that oil, put it on there, and then spin on our new filter. Once we get that spun on there, once you get it pretty tight, we want to make sure and still go another quarter turn there. You don't want it too tight, guys. You know, it's gonna tighten up some on its own over time, so we do want to get it good and hand tight, and once it's tight, you know, try to get that extra quarter turn on it. So from here, guys, I'm gonna take the drip pan back here, set it down. You know, once we sped that up and everything from the drainage and everything, the only thing we have left to do is to add the oil. It took me about 8 minutes to do that, from drain, taking the filter off and putting the new filter on. So relatively quick, guys. Pouring in the oil will be you know, fairly quick as well. So we'll go with pouring that in. What we're going to do is, generally on these engines, they take between 1.5 quarts and 2 quarts. So we're going to pour in 1.5 quarts, and then we're going to check, make sure that we don't get it over full. One thing, guys, when you're going to fill in back this oil, is you definitely want to check in your operator manual and make sure and see what the level is. Right there we put in 1.5 quarts, and now we'll put the dipstick in and check it. But depending on mower, depending on model, year, make, so on and so forth, we want to make sure, based on our specific engine, how much oil that's going to take. So as we can see there, kind of hard to see, but now we've gotten oil all the way up there to the full mark. So we're good there, guys. As you can see, pretty quick, pretty simple, easy, changing the oil there. Next thing we'll do here is we'll go and we'll change both of our spark plugs. So now jumping into changing the spark plugs, took me about 10 minutes or so to completely change the oil. So like I said, you know, quick, easy there. Next thing we're gonna do, like I said, is get in here to these spark plugs. Now, this is a V-twin 2-cylinder engine, so you are going to have 2 spark plugs, one on each side. So I'll start with this side, and then we'll go around to the other. And you know, I talked about running the engine, running the mower for a little bit before to get the oil warm. Guys, keep in mind, you only want to run it very shortly, just long enough to get that oil warm, as everything is here is going to be hot. So you know, you don't want to run it too long to where you're miserable and to where it's not easy to change these different pieces. So just keep that in mind. But starting here on changing the spark plug, like I said, I've got my spark plug socket. Like I said, it's a 13/16 deep socket, or 21 millimeter, and it does have the extra insulation, a little bit of rubber in there to help grab onto that spark plug. So right here on the side of the engine, we'll just reach up and we'll pull off this spark plug wire. It's really easy to take off there. Make sure and fit our socket all the way back on. Make sure we are going the right way, and we'll just start taking it off here. Now once you get going, this should loosen up to where you can do it by hand, but my hands are kind of slippery from changing that oil, so I'm just going to use the socket most of the way here. Now once we've got those off, as you can see, you know, we're getting a little bit of black there. You can tell they've been used there, and we can show you the difference here between that and a new one. A new one, we're going to pull it out. It'll be very similar, except as you can see here at the top, nice and clean all the way around. So going back in, guys, we'll just go right back in, reinstall there. The more hand tightening, the better, guys. You know, you don't want to get things in there too tight, get them bound up, damage anything there on the block of your engine. So once you kind of get it to where it's snug there, we'll go back on with our wrench here. Now, once you feel it get tight there, same thing with the oil filter. Just going to go like another, just barely a quarter turn there. And we'll reinstall our spark plug wire here. You know, very easy, quick, easy to do on that one. We'll go around here to the other side, do the same thing. So once again, guys, over here on this side, very easily exposed. We'll just take off our spark plug wire there. Get our wrench going back in the right direction here. Get in there. Start loosening it off. Once again, guys, you know, dirty black there at the top. You know, probably a good thing that we're getting these changed out. Go back in here with the new one. There we are where it's tight, so we're going to go that one extra turn there. I'm going to reinstall our spark plug wire there. Now from here, guys, let's go and change our air filter. All right, guys, on this particular model, like we talked about, this air filter here does have this free foam filter. So first thing we're going to do is throw that on there. Very easy, just slide it on there. That's just going to add that extra protection, you know, to those pleats in that filter. So on this particular model, guys, air filter is here in the front. As you can see, you have two real easy hand twist knobs here. Just going to loosen those up, pull this cover off, set that cover somewhere, get it out of your way. Now, on this model particularly, filter here is you do have to loosen a hose clamp, and they do have a nice convenient hand tightening clamp here. So we're just going to roll that back here, and it's going to loosen that hose clamp. Very easily just pull this up and pull off that old filter. And to replace it, guys, it's just as easy going back on. We're just going to pull this hose back a little bit, slide it on, make sure that we're completely on top and bottom here, and then we'll tighten up our clamp here at the bottom. Now, once again, not too tight, but we do want to make sure it's tight enough that that filter is going to stay on there. So, guys, I don't know if you were counting, but that was very quick, very easy. It took me less than a minute to change that air filter. So from here, guys, we'll get into a little bit of the messy job and change the fuel filter. Changing out this fuel filter could be one of the most difficult parts of this service, being as you know, you're working with hoses and rubber, and over time we know how that gets. You know, they get hard, they get a little bit corroded. So that's another part of changing this fuel filter, is you want to make sure and check all your hoses for any leaks or corrosion there. So right here, as you can see, we've got a clamp here on top. We've got one down at the bottom. I'm going to take those loose and change out this filter. I've also got some rags here underneath to help with any spillage, as when you take that off, as you can see, there is still some fuel here in the filter. You are going to have a little spillage. So I'm going to go ahead and change this out. So when you're going back on with it, you just want to make sure that you're going in the direction of flow. And as you can see here, there's an arrow. So we want to go tank side flowing to the engine. So we just want to make sure our arrow is always going to the engine here. Just like that, guys, that's all there is to it. You know, like I said, we pulled those two clamps back, put our new filter on, made sure our direction of flow was going the right way. That's all there is to it on changing the fuel filter. All right, guys, so as you've just seen, 15-20 minutes, we have this entire mower serviced out. Everything right here in this kit, we had the oil filter, air filter, spark plugs, and fuel filter. Guys, I'm no handyman. It was really easy for me to get this done. And the other thing too is I wasn't frustrated. I didn't have the wrong parts. I'd matched up this mower to the right serial number, had everything I needed. And that's one of the things, guys, we run into. We have different brands of engines on different models of mowers. If you get the wrong kit, may get the wrong part. You know, if you can be off on one, you might be off on all. So if we're making sure and matching up this kit to the serial number, make sure to always have the right thing. So after watching this, guys, if you decided a home maintenance kit is something you need, just remember to send me that email to the email address below in the description, brent@west-equip.com. Make sure to send me that serial number so I can get the right kit coming your way. And don't forget, guys, we are going to hook you up with that free shipping and also hook you up with that free Western Equipment hat. And guys, we appreciate you so much for watching our videos. Make sure to keep tuning in for new videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And that's because John Deere has over 60 current models of I just get caught up, bro. It offers over 60 models of John Deere mowers and hundreds of around the globe, and that being all about the John Deere home maintenance kit. John Deere, hey, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and today James is just really being a punk and getting on my nerves. Oh, dude, sorry, I had to get a little. We'll speed up some of it just for your watch time and for, you know, to let's start over.